So I'm going to talk about some general things for the first 10-20 minutes. And then after that 10-20 minutes, we'll start with the live call-in portion. First thing I want to talk about is HEX, obviously. Where are we at right now? So about 17.8 cents. Doing things. The sacrifice phases have long been over, and the imminence of Pulsechain, I think, is starting to make people bullish again. We have an article from Watcher Guru. HEX spiked 40% in 7 days. Should you invest now? And a few streams ago, I did a PowerPoint on should you buy HEX now or wait till later. So I'll go over that again. And then I'm also going to talk about my HEX Pulse Radio free Pulse dedication pool that just went live like an hour ago. What is that? Why you should be interested in it? So let's just hop in. Should you buy HEX now when it's up 40% in 7 days? Okay, so how can I do this? Let me just make my screen smaller so you can see it all. And then I'll probably lower my webcam, make it a bit smaller. So buy HEX now or wait. Let's just go really quickly through this. What is HEX briefly? HEX is a smart contract on Ethereum that pays you yield, okay? Never had any glitches. It's a better version of Bitcoin. Instead of mining Bitcoin, you stake. Instead of selling down on the price, you get more and help the price. But should you buy HEX now or wait? So you could wait till after Pulsechain launches and buy, right? Why would you though? Okay, if you're thinking about buying HEX, why would you wait till after Pulsechain? Right? Why would you do this? When Pulsechain launches, you get a copy of all your ERC20s. HEX is an ERC20. So if you bought 10 HEX today, in a month when Pulsechain comes out, you're going to get a copy of that HEX. So you could think of your buys right now as a 2-for-1, okay? Buying HEX now before the Pulsechain snapshot. What is the Pulsechain snapshot? So basically at some day in the near future, Richard Hart will tweet out some advance, whether it's 24 hours advance notice, 48 hours advance notice. He's going to let you guys know that the snapshot's going to happen, but you're not going to have a lot of time. So I have Richard Hart's notifications on Twitter turned on. I'd recommend you have his notifications on Twitter turned on because he is the official outlet of anything Pulsechain. And you're going to want to know when the snapshot is because the snapshot is going to look at every Ethereum wallet and basically at a set date and time, it'll take every Ethereum wallet's balance, all your ERC20s. It's going to look at your wallet. It's going to see all the shit coins you have, whether that's Shiba Inu, HEX isn't a shit coin, whether that's HEX. And it's going to make a list of all the balances. And you're only going to have like 24 hours or 48 hours notice. And it'll basically see, okay, this user has this many of this token. So when Pulsechain comes out, this is the airdrop they're going to get. All right. When Pulsechain launches, whatever tokens you have in your wallet on this date, you will also get copied to PLS. Rule number 1, do not hold Ethereum for the snapshot. Ethereum, we are replicating as PLS. So for 1 Ethereum, you only get 1 PLS, okay? You're getting diluted 10,000x. Why is that? Because we don't want to reward the Ethereum whales. Richard's about creating new whales, and PLS is the new ETH on Pulsechain. For 1 Ethereum, which is $3,000, you'll get 1 PLS, which won't even be a penny. Does that sound like a good deal, getting under a penny for $3,000? It doesn't sound like a good deal to me. So if you want to take advantage of the snapshot, you want to have all your ERC20s in a decentralized wallet. My best recommendation is metamask.io. There's lots of scammers out here, guys, especially in my YouTube comments, all over Twitter. There's fake MetaMask, so just be careful as always. And if you guys are new to crypto, which a lot of people that watch these streams aren't new to crypto, but we do get a lot of noobs in here, and that's what we're all about, helping the noobs. K4K Crypto, check him out on YouTube. He put up an hour-long video, how not to get hacked in crypto. I get a lot of questions. What hardware wallet should I use? How could I be more safe? K4K Crypto, smart guy, and he put out an hour-long video yesterday, how to not get scammed in crypto. So look up K4K Crypto if you need information on how to not get scammed. Don't do it right now, stay in my stream. But if you need more help on security, that hour-long video is probably a great resource. For the snapshot though, keep your coins in a decentralized exchange. If they're on Coinbase, if they're on Binance, you're not going to get a copy of that snapshot, okay? Because technically, if your coins are on an exchange, you don't really control them. The exchange does. And Richard isn't gonna reward these billion-dollar exchanges with free money, okay? So if you want to take advantage of the snapshot and get a copy of all your tokens, and you want to get that airdrop, keep them in a MetaMask, a decentralized wallet. Ether is the yeah, okay, I said that. So when I did this presentation, HEX was 12 cents. So we're up about, what, 40% of that now? Why is it glitching out? Okay. Not financial advice, but when you're investing in things, you want to buy things that are in the red, not in the green. HEX is up 40% this week, but you could see HEX make a run up to 20 cents, 30 cents. When HEX goes on crazy runs, if you've held HEX for the past 2 years, it really surprises everyone. When HEX went from, what, 13 cents all the way up to 55 cents with the first sacrifice announcement, I don't think everyone saw it going that high. Buying HEX right now at 17 cents. Once we're at all-time highs again, that's a 2.5x. So there's a lot of upside here. You want to buy things that are below their all-time highs if you're bullish on them long-term, because once HEX makes new all-time highs just to $1, which, I mean, I think we can all agree HEX will be $1 eventually. When? No one knows. But from 17 cents to $1, that's a nice 7-8x, okay? And with Pulsechain coming out, I don't think any of us realize how fast HEX could go to $1. A $20 million market buy on HEX, 33 likes already, that's amazing. A $20 million market buy on HEX with 10x the price. $20 million, it's a lot of money. In crypto, a lot of people have $20 million, right? I don't, I wish I did, but you never know where this money could come from, especially with something like Pulsechain coming out. There are so many people, all your favorite influencers on crypto YouTube. Hopefully you don't watch BitBoy. Hopefully you don't watch Ivan on Text Better. Hopefully you don't watch Carl the Moon. That guy's terrible. All these guys are investing in Pulsechain because HEX did amazing returns. A lot of people missed the boat on HEX. People aren't going to miss the boat on Pulsechain because Ethereum layer 2 solutions do well. And who knows game theory and tokenomics better than Richard Hart, right? Richard Hart is the CEO of game theory, and he's got a lot of smart people around him that are making this game theory so superb. So rich people care about yield on their wealth. They don't really care about multiplying it. If you already have $100 million, you're less concerned about 10xing and becoming a billionaire. You're more concerned about just maintaining your wealth, right? Yet once you have enough money in this world, you don't necessarily need to grow it unless you just are really like having an innate desire to be a billionaire, like Richard or something. I think a lot of us here are just looking for financial freedom. We're just looking for a way to free ourselves from the system and have our money make money. And that's why HEX is amazing, because price appreciation aside, right? HEX appreciated better than pretty much 99% of crypto assets the past 3 years. That aside, that's amazing. We all love that in crypto. That aside, the staking yield, anywhere from 12% APY to 38% APY, that's what you can sell to rich people. They don't care about 10xing their money. That's what us broke plebs care about, right? We're in crypto for the 100x's. Rich people, a lot of them maybe have Bitcoin just because they've been told to diversify. Inflation's crazy. Maybe they're speculating on Bitcoin. The really good sales point of HEX is that yield. HEX price goes sideways forever. You're still getting anywhere from a 12% to a 38% yield. And where in the traditional markets can you get a 5%, 10% yield, right? A savings account doesn't even give you 1%. So the bread and butter of HEX is not, the price appreciation is what we love the most, but the staking and the yield, the APY, is what's going to bring in big money to this in the long term. Rich people care about return of their investment, not return on their investment. And HEX has an insanely great yield. HEX is an immutable smart contract. It can't be changed. The code is locked, and it will never change. Right? Richard Hart could go away, never talk to any of us again. HEX would still function. HEX would still be fine. It's a locked smart contract. And in almost 3 years now, there's been no issues, glitches, errors, or anything on HEX. Okay, so you have something like Solana. Solana did over a 2,000x, right? And Solana has gone down 5 times in the past 6 months, right? HEX has never gone down. A few things on Pulsechain. Pulsechain was created as a solution for HEX users primarily, but it's also bringing in the entire Ethereum system state. Whether you like NFTs, whether you like trading other ERC20 tokens, you'll like Pulsechain, right? Faster speeds, lower fees. That's the motto, Pulsechain. But a lot of people that missed HEX are looking at Pulsechain. As these gains come into Pulsechain, the Pulsechain, PLSX, and HEX, it's like a holy trinity of crypto. They work cyclically. Pulsechain and PulseX specifically, the more volume, the more burn, the more deflationary mechanics, and then the more success of Pulsechain, HEX is the store of value. HEX is where you put your crypto to maintain the value and grow it over time. So Pulsechain is going to create a bunch of people that make life-changing money. And where are they going to put that? Well, I know a lot of them like HEX. Look at the top 10 sacrificers in Pulsechain, putting in tens of millions of dollars. Where is that money going to go once they 10x, 50x, 100x it? I know a lot of these really rich Hexicans, they love HEX, right? People call HEX a cult, not a community. And I get that. From the outside perspective, I mean, I love HEX, I'm in the community, but from outside perspective, it does kind of feel like a cult at times, right? But on the flip side, when you make a lot of people a lot of money, they tend to like that product, right? So kind of makes sense. The top 1,000 PLS sacrifice wallets own 72% of the supply. To be in the top 1,000 sacrificers, you had to sacrifice $170,000 last July. Now, who's sacrificing 170K, these 1,000 people that did this, to a product that is just an idea, right? Last July, Pulsechain, we're almost complete. Pulsechain's almost finished now. Last July, it wasn't even started. But there's so much faith in what Richard Hart can do. Look at his track record with HEX. The people that are in these top 1,000 wallets putting in $170,000, they're not looking to sell on launch for a 5x. These are people invested in the ecosystem, obviously. Put your money where your mouth is. And these gains are just going to fuel HEX even more in the long term. So should you buy HEX now? Yes, it's up 40% in 7 days. Typically, I wouldn't buy something up 40% in 7 days. But HEX is about long-term delayed gratification, whether it's 17 cents, whether you're buying it at 30 cents. In my opinion, with a long-term time horizon, these minor price fluctuations don't matter. This is like looking at Ethereum. When Ethereum launched and was 15 cents, and Ethereum went to $1, right? You wouldn't care if you had Ethereum at 15 cents or $1. Obviously 15 cents, why did this just change? Oh, because the presentation. Obviously 15 cents is better than $1, but in the long-term scheme of things, it really doesn't matter, right? So HEX is about staking it till you make it, delay that gratification. Yes, the price is up right now in the short term, but if you look at the weekly chart of HEX since inception, right, there's still, like, we're fine. Moving into the second thing now, and then I'll take questions. So what is my HEX Pulse Radio free pulse pool? All right, so freepulse.io. Thanks for the 44 likes. If you guys appreciate the content, hit the like button. It's free. So WTF is this. So freepulse.io, it's a faucet where you can claim up to $200 in free pulse tokens every hour. A lot of people comment on my YouTube videos saying, dude, it's not real pulse, dude. Why would there be a website like this just giving out fake tokens? Like, why would they have made that if it wasn't going to give out real PLS tokens? And it's only test pulse because the mainnet isn't out. Once the mainnet is out, it will be real PLS. You will be able to claim real money. One person an hour will get that $200. That probably won't be you. The odds are going to be very low for that. But still, free PLS this early in the game, I know if I'm on my computer, I'm going to be clicking that every hour. And I'll demonstrate how to actually claim the free pulse after this, but I just want to keep the slideshow up so I don't have to go back and forth. Dope founders, Victor and Felix. These are long-term HEX community members, and these guys are people that are putting up portions of their own money to fuel this faucet. The faucet has to come from somewhere, right? Water doesn't just come out of a faucet, it comes from the water supply. Victor and Felix, they probably did very well in their personal lives and with HEX, and they are giving a portion of their bags to fuel this to onboard people. Also, if you guys didn't see, they tweeted out the website metrics for Free Pulse the past month, and they've already hit 100,000 unique users on a website where you can't even get the real PLS yet. So people are on this Free Pulse website, massive numbers, and it's not even live yet. So imagine once it's live, how successful Free Pulse is going to be. Victor and Felix, the founders, they also made the logos for PLS and PLSX. Among other things, and they may or may not have experience working like directly with Richard. So these guys are community members. They've done work for the PLS and PLSX projects. They've now created Free Pulse as a way to onboard people. What better way to onboard people than to just give them free money? It's really hard to convince someone to get into crypto who's not in it. It's harder to sell a certain token. But if you just say, hey man, here's 5,000 HEX, here's how you can look at it, and then they watch the price go up. It's a lot, like the best way to onboard people, in my opinion, is just giving it to them for free. Unfortunately, not much is free in this world. That's why Free Pulse is amazing though. One of the best products from the community. So about FP, this is going to be their token. Free Pulse becomes a token on Pulsechain. It has a fixed supply of 777 million units with no inflation ever, no admin keys, time locks, fees or taxes, can't be censored, it's immutable, consists of only 9 lines of code. First of all, we would like to note that you cannot have any expectations of profit for the work of others, right? That's just what you have to say because securities offerings, we don't want this to be a security, so you can't expect profit from the work of others. The FP token could be tradable on PulseX, and some entity might provide enough liquidity to ensure that retail traders can trade without suffering from high slippage. The liquidity might be provided against a stable coin to ensure that FP doesn't have a dip when other currencies do. Hart's Law. So one of the beautiful things about HEX that Richard Hart discovered without even intending to is that when your liquidity for your token is based on a stable coin, then it basically allows you to hedge against the general crypto market. Most cryptocurrencies, their liquidity is in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Ethereum's primary liquidity is in Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin shits the bed, all these other coins shit the bed more because their primary liquidity is based in the coin that's going down. HEX's primary liquidity is USDC, a stable coin. Stable coins don't go down in value. So that's why you see HEX this past week when Bitcoin's not doing anything, no other cryptos are doing anything. You've seen HEX have a crazy run, and that's probably just because of Pulsechain, not so much Hart's Law. But Hart's Law is a beautiful thing, and it's going to be implemented in the Free Pulse token as well. Token info, 777 supply. Yeah, don't need to talk about that. So utility, this is some important stuff. 30% of the potential profits that Free Pulse could generate might or might not go towards a buyback program, right? So this essentially, they're taking that Richard Hart game theory, and it's the buy and burn feature, right? There's also a gambling component. I don't advise anyone to gamble, but there's a gambling component on Free Pulse, and gambling sites tend to do pretty well. So there could be a very large amount of potential profits that could be used, right? We can't assume anything, we can't expect anything, but this buy and burn could be very massive. Free Pulse will be deflationary. There will be a DAO where you can have voting rights and potentially in-house advantages such as a lower house edge or the possibility to claim more Free Pulse every hour. In-house advantages, that's about the gambling casino component. I wouldn't recommend that anyone gambles their PLS tokens, because any PLS you lose early on, you're really going to cringe 2 years from now. However, the possibility to claim even more free PLS every hour, that's awesome. Imagine if you could have claimed free Ethereum every hour when it was 15 cents. So they're not doing a sacrifice phase. It's similar, but they're calling it a dedication phase. And it's going to be for freedom of commerce. And there will be a volume bonus up to 2x. So the larger the dedications that are made, you'll get more of the token, okay? What is the volume bonus? So really quickly, if you go to PulseX lead, look at the #1 wallet on PulseX lead. Okay, and you can see they sacrificed about $48 million. Okay, so $1 is 10,000 tokens. So $48 million would be about 480 billion tokens. However, they got 1.1 trillion tokens. They got more than double their sacrifice value. Why is that? Because of the volume bonus, right? Pulsechain and PulseX sacrifices, just like this free Pulse dedication phase, it rewards the higher economic power that is put into it, right? It kind of makes sense. You want to reward the people investing the most into your project. So this #1 wallet on PulseX lead, this was a pool, I do believe, and they got 2.5x. So each $1 was actually 25,000 tokens. For most of us, or most sacrificers, $1 was 10,000 tokens. But this volume multiplier, the higher are you up on these dedication sacrifice phases, you can get a way higher rate. And that's kind of the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of the pool. Back to my scuffed PowerPoint. Really annoying having to change this. So volume bonus. Basically what I just explained here. Pools will win. The past has shown from the Pulsechain sacrifice, the PulseX sacrifice, that it can be worthwhile to start a dedication pool or join an existing one. They have always enjoyed very good results in the dedication phases, and you can get a mathematical advantage by joining a pool. So the HEX Pulse Radio pool, you see here, there's been 2 pools, the free carpet ride and the free pulse.com pool. And they've asked that I take a 5% fee, or I think I'm required to, for doing this pool. So essentially 5% of whatever you sacrifice, I will get. However, the volume multiplier, as long as it's over 1.05x, then you're going to still get more back. This is the 3rd dedication pool, the HEX Pulse Radio one. And the address is in the video description below. I'll put that on my Twitter as well. But just launched, 0 collected so far. Honestly, I don't expect many people to participate in this, but that's just kind of, I think, doubting myself. I'm definitely going to participate in the freepulse.io dedication phase because, 1, I love the product. And let me show you how that works really quick. And 2, the amount of people on this site, if I go to Twitter really quick, let me pull up Twitter. Let me show you the recent metrics for how crazy this website has been going. And you can't even claim free Pulse here yet. It's testnet Pulse because Pulsechain isn't even out. So look at this stuff. There's been over 700,000 sessions, 3.6 million page views, and there's not even a free Pulse faucet yet. It's just test Pulse, right? 100,000 unique users. Imagine how much this is going to blow up once Pulsechain goes live. Once people are actually claiming free money here, I don't think any of us can realize like how successful this is going to be. So yeah, if you want more information about the free Pulse pool, it's right here. It's on freepulse.io/shares, and it's live now. So I'm excited to see how high we can get this volume bonus. Okay.